Hi there, it's the Sacramento Real Estate Professor and the Sacramento Real Estate Referral Professional. So if you want to talk today about how to stay out of trouble and how to avoid lawsuits, then I am your girl. I'm going to help you out. Listen, lawsuits in the real estate industry are very common. And in teaching real estate law, not an attorney, full disclosure, but I have taught real estate law for a couple of different colleges. And one thing I can tell you for sure is that our real estate courts are very congested. Now, what happens? Why do people get sued in real estate? Well, there's a lot of different reasons, obviously. But one of the most common issues that occur are when buyers sue sellers for non-disclosure. Okay, and this can go all different ways. People can sue buyers for specific performance too. There's a lot of things that can go on, but what I want you to remember is that if you're a seller, I don't care what city or state you're in, whatever your state disclosure laws, and I say that because in some states, their disclosure laws are like nothing. It's like sign here that, you're responsible for finding out your own inspections. But in California, we have oodles of them. We have so many. If a seller misses something on a disclosure form, and this comes across in the seller's transfer disclosure statement, as well as the seller's property questionnaire. If you're a seller and you're just sitting there having a Mai Tai, looking on your phone, doing your disclosures, which is kind of the thing that we do now, and you miss a box, and that box ends up being a problem for the buyer, and then it comes out to be that you should have checked that box, well, the buyer may sue you for failure to disclose a pertinent relative fact, a red flag. So what is a red flag? In real estate law, a red flag is anything at all that affects the property to such an extent that it may affect the buyer's desire to own it. Okay, so like a crack in the ceiling, a leak in the roof, someone died on the property and you didn't check that box. Those are considered material facts. Material facts are like red flags. And sometimes, trust me, over 30 years, I have seen it. Sellers think, oh, I'm just not going to put that. And then they just fail to disclose something. And then what happens is when if the buyer can prove damages, and, it's California, so it happens, then they end up suing you, the agent, the brokerage, for sure. At least those three. Why? Because the agent represented you and the agent represents a broker. So anytime there's a lawsuit, and if you know anything about lawsuits, you know that everyone's going to be named in the case. Now, one of the things that happens when the seller's agent, like if I were your agent and I go to your house, I have my own form that I fill out that I note anything that I see visually, like there's a leak in the roof or there's a crack in the wall. I will note that down. That's called the agent's visual inspection disclosure. So let's say you're a buyer and you go to buy a house and you have an allergy to pet dander. And on the disclosure sheet, the seller said there was no pets on the property, pet-free zone. But then that person ends up in the hospital with an asthma attack. And comes to find out there was 25 cats in the house at one time. Now, the buyer is going to sue the seller, but they would have to sue me and my broker as well. Okay? But here's the caveat. If I, as the seller's agent, had my AVID, my agent visual inspection disclosure, and in that AVID, I said, cat odors, urine on carpet, whatever, that's a form before we close escrow that the buyers would have to sign too. So in those cases, when a seller failed to check a box off, if I have my form and I can say, oh, look, here it is, Mr. Buyer, you signed this and I plainly said that there were cats, blah, 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 that's going to probably get tossed out of court. So there is, there's ways around it. But my advice to you as a seller is just to be honest. I remember one time having a seller a long time ago, and he had a built-in swimming pool, and he said, there's a crack in the pump, but I don't think anyone will notice it. Is that okay? And I'm like, no, no, it's not okay. We have to disclose that. I know it's easy to get caught in the mindset, well, what they don't know won't hurt, but what they don't know can hurt you. So it's always best to be honest. Just be honest. If something happened in the house, like a flood, a fire, if someone died there within the limits, the time limitations, the statute that it asks you, and it says it in the form, it asks you in the last 3 years, just be honest and read those forms carefully. You know what I do when I have, because everyone's using their phone, or hopefully their laptop when they fill out forms, but I do have a lot of agent or clients now who don't even have laptops because, maybe they're retired or maybe they're on the road all the time and they just use their phone. What I do is I bring them the two main disclosures, the transfer disclosure and the seller's property questionnaire. I bring them physically or email them and say, I want you to read all these and know the answers before you go over and do it on your phone. Because once you do it on your phone, you may miss a box or you may fail to put something because it's just hard to read on your phone. And those two forms will really, really help to keep you on this side of ethics and the law. Okay, because we don't want your property to get involved in a lawsuit, because here's what happens. It could take months, it could take years. And I'm not kidding. It can take years. And you could have your property with all your equity locked up in a lawsuit for who knows how long. And that is no good for anybody, right? So we want to avoid, at all costs, we want to avoid lawsuits. And the best way to avoid a lawsuit is to be very, very ethical and disclose anything that could be considered as a red flag. And if you're in doubt, ask your agent. Ask your agent, do I need to disclose this? Do I need to disclose this? Your agent will know. Your agent will know. Okay? So hopefully you found that helpful. If you are looking for an excellent realtor anywhere in the United States, click the link below and let's have a Zoom chat, and I'll see what you're looking for, and I will connect you with some amazing, amazing agents for you to interview, and no cost to you ever at all, at all. So I look forward to talking to you, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.